meu coração, meu coração.
Hey, hey,
Okay.
hey,
Yeah.
hey,
Hey.
hey,
Yeah.
hey,
Uh.
hey. Y'all know
Uh.
what time it is.
Uh.
What up, people? It's the iBall Live. Get
Okay.
it? It's the iBall Live. Get it? It's the iBall Live. Get it? It's the iBall Live. Let's go. Come on in,
Hey.
everybody. Come on in.
Come on.
Come on in, everybody. Come on in.
Come on.
Come
Hey.
on in,
Hey.
everybody. Come
Hey.
on in.
Hey.
Come on in,
Yeah.
everybody. Why? Why? Because it's the iBall Live. Get it? It's the iBall Live. Get it? It's the iBall Live. Get it? It's the iBall Live. Let's go. What up, what up, what up, and welcome to the iBall Radio Live call-in show. I'm your host, Derek Williams, also known as D-Will, the coach, and I'm in the building with my guy, Breezy on the ones and twos. What up, Breeze?
What up? What up?
Yes, sir. Another day, another dollar inside the iBall Radio Studios here live in Montgomery, Alabama. And y'all see our guy, Lance from Huntsville, is also here.
Yeah, he here.
We got a lot to talk about tonight, man. And we're going to get into it. So y'all going to come in and tell a friend that iBall Radio is live
Yeah, man.
right now.
Hey.
Real quick, though, coming up February 1st, this Sunday, you can catch iBall Radio in the building for the PBA. That's Positionless Basketball Academy tryouts on Sunday, February 1st, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Pelham Rec Center. Listen, if you want to get in, it's only $10. This is only for 12, 13, and 14 youth. Middle school ages, 3 to 5 p.m. PBA. They run on. Listen, I got some information, right?
Yeah.
They're running on the junior EYBL circuit and the Puma Next Pro circuit. So they're gonna be playing tournaments on both circuits this upcoming spring and summer. If you want to be a part of PBA, the Positionless Basketball Academy, man, they will have tryouts on this Sunday, February 1st, from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. at Pelham Rec Center. You want to, I think I got a number.
Got a number for him.
I can't find it right now.
I know it feel good to be back in the studio.
It do, man. It does, man.
Hey.
Well, this our second go round in the studio, man. We be needing that.
I be uncomfortable outside of here.
Yeah, man. Feel good, man. Shout out to the chat, man. What up, chat? Chris
What
got
up, chat?
chilling in the building. What it do?
What up, though?
Herman Cartwright. What y'all know about Tanner High School, man? We had Tanner High School this year. We had Tanner versus Athens earlier up in the season, man. So we know a little bit about Tanner. If you got something to tell us, man, we are all ears. Hit us up. Let us know, man. They had some athletes over there at Tanner playing some 1A ball. But, hey, man, shout out to our guy, Lance, and he's in the building. What up, Lance?
What up, Lance from Huntsville?
Hey, Breezy, be sure to put the number up on the thing so folks can
Hold on,
call.
we can't hear you. Hold
I
on.
can't hear you, Lance. Let me figure out why.
Can you hear me now?
Figure out why we can't hear
Go ahead,
Lance.
Lance.
One,
There you
two,
go.
Can you hear me?
You got you.
Hey, Breezy, be sure to put the number up on the line so when we open up the phone lines, people know what the number is.
No doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, we what up though, Lance? What's good?
Hey, man, so much. Hey, I had to take a nap today, bro. I ain't even gonna lie.
Bro, me too,
It's
man.
so
Listen,
That's
My
why we
phone
late.
started ringing.
that's why we late. Bro,
Right.
I didn't wake up until 6:50. Like literally. Jumped up and I was like, oh man, it's 6:50. Let's scoot on over to the studio, man. That's why we're a little late today ourselves, man. But
I had to keep my phone on the charger today. I mean, it was like one call after the next call after the next call after the next. It's wild right now.
yeah, it is what it is. A lot going on in the world of high school sports. Mainly for us, of course, high school basketball is what we rock with, man. But yeah, like you say, it is a lot going on right now. But we do have a iBall Radio Game of the Week coming up next Monday, February the 2nd. We will be at Homewood High School for Homewood versus Hoover.
big time game. It's not an area game. However, it will be a big time rivalry game between Homewood and Hoover next Monday, 7 days from today. iBall Radio will be in the building at Homewood High School for Homewood versus Hoover for our iBall Radio game of the week. Hey man, we're dwindling down. We did a lot of traveling, a lot of doing over the last couple of weeks, man. Been a hell of a season, man, as we get ready for playoff time here in the state of Alabama. The regionals, I'm not sure. Area tournament starts, I think that week after that. And then we go through the area, we get the regionals, and then we'll get to the state tournament, which is March 1st through the 7th at the downtown. It's at the Legacy Arena. The Legacy Arena downtown, man. So that seems so minute to say a word in the grand scheme of things with everything that's going on right now here in the state of Alabama when it comes to high school sports, man. As y'all know, we had a pop-up live on Saturday talking about the happenings of last Friday where the Alabama High School Athletic Association announced that the public school and private schools will split for championship play starting next year, 2026-2027 season, and that will also continue for the 27 and 28 season. So major happenings. We dropped an article, wrote an article on yesterday, and it's out there right now. It's a free article. So all you got to do is go to iballradio.com, click on articles. It's the first article up right now. Click on that, and you can go read that article. You don't even have to have an iballradio.com subscription, and you will be able to read that article. Bunch of information in there, man. It lets you know what the Choose Act is. It lets you know how it works, lets you know what it consists of. And we also added in that article the links for you to go apply for the Choose Act if that's something that you're interested in and you want to go get that money, right? And flip where you want to have your education and athletics being played at next season. So I got a lot of questions about that. I got a lot of phone calls about it. Hey, man, if I transfer now, will I be immediately eligible? I was like, I don't think that's how it works. I don't know. If you leave in the middle of the season, or it's not even the middle of the season, it's the end of the season now. If you leave at the end of the season, I was like, I can't answer that question for you.
Shoot, if you got a good lawyer, you could probably play by Saturday.
Yeah, for real. No doubt. You can Charles Bediaco that thing if you got a good lawyer. If you got the right judge, you can Charles Bediaco that thing, and they'll have you on this week, man. But a lot of questions been coming out. Matter of fact, got one in the chat right now. Chris Chillin says, I read the article about Choose Act, and one thing I want to say is that I'm so happy you made it public. And secondly, you did your thing and really went in depth. No doubt, Chris Chillin. Appreciate that, man. No doubt about it. Appreciate it. And that's a young kid, man. That's a young kid tapping in, man.
What up, though?
He understands, man. He gets it. That's why we shout him out every time we see him in the chat. But yeah, Lance, man, talk to me, man. What we got going on, man? What's been the latest that you've heard and seen?
Well, I'm going to piggyback on your Choose Act just to give a little bit more understanding about that. So the state already has that money in their bank. To be able to give you. They have $600 million in the bank ready to start passing out.
Get your money on, people. Go get your money on. $600 million. And like I say, go read that article, man. Like I say, it goes in depth about what the Choose Act is, how much you will receive, what are the stipulations to be able to qualify for it. It has nothing to do with failing schools. It has nothing to do with school you're at now, what school you want to go to. Those are not stipulations of the Choose Act. It is all finance based on if you can be approved for the Choose Act, right? You have to, and all of that is in the article. I'm not going to give it to you now. You're going to have to go read, right? Make them go read it. Go check it out on iBallradio.com. So, but yeah, Lance, outside of that, we got about 20 things to talk about. We ain't gonna fit them all in.
Sure.
Tell me a couple of things that you've been hearing so far when it comes to the Choose Act, the split of Alabama high school public and private schools, and everything else our phone has been ringing about here in the last couple of days.
Yeah, so I think knowledge is power, right? And understanding how our state operates and how it operates sports is very important. And so our state board of education governs everything education, academic wise, institution wise, in our state from the north to the south. If you are part of a school, you have to be accredited through that. However, they do not, for any extracurricular, whether you're in the band, theater, basketball, baseball, any sport, whatever, they do not govern that, which is very interesting to me. And I've been asking lots of questions to people in power about that today, why somebody at our state board is not at least a liaison per se, right? But so back in 1920, our state's been around a long time. There's people in our state saw a need for a governing body to manage our high school sports. So a gentleman stood up this organization in the 1920s. So it's been around a long time. The Alabama High School Athletic Association has been around 100 years.
104
Yeah,
years.
a long time, right?
Right.
So there's been a lot of changes in the history of that. And so basically the way that the State Board of Education looks at that is they are this voluntary organization that helps organize and govern. And the Alabama High School Athletic Association partnered a long time ago with NFHS to make sure that we're following all the rules. Some of them we do, some of them we don't, but we did make an agreement with them. So it's a very interesting organization from that standpoint. However, they do not receive 1 penny from our state government. They are the only way they get is donors, Coca-Cola, Alabama Power, some of those big names that you've seen when you go to the state championships, whether it's football, basketball, whatever, those banners and such. They do a lot through donation base, as well as revenue sharing. When you buy your ticket at GoFan, they revenue share with the schools. So I'll stop there for a minute, but that's just a little bit of the history of those separation of those two entities, the State Board of Education and the Alabama High School Athletic Association.
Yeah, man. For a lot of people, the Alabama High School Athletic Association is a nonprofit organization. They're ran just like the NCAA, like the NFL, all of those who register as nonprofits. And if you know anything about it, and listen, y'all, we're not going to bore y'all tonight with particulars, right? But we're just giving y'all the gist. But understand, it is a nonprofit organization. They receive their money off of donors. Now, a lot of the conversation that's going on nowadays is this thing has taken a life of its own, right? It started off, and if you read the Chuzak article that we dropped yesterday on iBallRadio.com, make sure you go get your iBallRadio.com subscription, even though that article is free. Everything else is behind the paywall, so make sure you get that so you can stay up to date on all. Not gonna make many more of them free. I'm just gonna let you know. So go ahead and get signed up for that right now. But I'm gonna tell you this, bro. That this thing has taken legs of its own and gone a million different ways. The announcement that was made on Friday, and I said this in the article, it is mild, right? That announcement is, and I don't want to poo-poo it, right? I don't want to poo-poo it because it is, for some, it is extremely significant. But in my opinion, right, and that's why y'all watch this show, that's why y'all tune in. In my opinion, bro, that was smoke and mirrors. Yes. That was a lot to do about nothing, right? The rationale, and we always say, man, if you ever want to get any answer in a capitalism world, which we live in here in the United States, if you want to get something in it, follow the money. Follow the money.
Got to do that.
Follow the money, and you will, and somewhere in there you will find the answers that you are looking for. And our research over the last several days has been a lot about, hey man, they made this much. They have this much of a surplus. They got this. This is what they're supposed to do with the money. This is where the money is supposed to go. A lot of people have an issue with that because allegedly the money's not going where it's supposed to go. Okay, that's one part of it. So we were following the money, trying to break it down and then I've said this on this platform so many freaking times that Montgomery is a outlier. It is an anomaly when it comes to the rest of the state. Because with the population of Montgomery, Alabama, for the public school system to look the way it looks, if you go through every public school team in Montgomery, right? And I'm talking Carver, I'm talking Percy Julian, I'm talking Jag, right? Lanier is no longer open. That was the 4th. Now you do have other public schools, but they're magnet public schools, meaning you can't be zoned to go to those schools. The schools that you can go to that you zoned for are Percy Julian, Jag, and Carver, right? That's the north side, that's south side. With Jag is the south side, Percy Julian is north side, and Carver is the west side of Montgomery, right? So you are in Park Crossing, right? Park Crossing is that 4th public school on the east side of Montgomery that has kids that are zoned to those schools. Park Crossing is a tad bit of an outlier, but not much. But no, if you go through all of those teams, they're all black. All of them. The population of the schools are all black, right? It is a very, 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 very low percentage. I don't have that number exactly, but it is a very, especially at those first 3 that I named, no white kids go to those schools at all, right? At all. And I'm not exaggerating, y'all. I am being straight up. They are not. When you go to Huntsville, when you go to Birmingham, and Birmingham is a little different because it's so big, right? And Mobile's the same way because it's so big. It's little pockets that you can go to that has that. Montgomery's not as big as those other 3 cities, right? So it doesn't have, the population is also, Montgomery, I think it used to be 3rd, but I think it's dropped to 5th in the numbers of population of student, well, of the population of the city as a whole, right? I think it has dropped to 5th in the state of Alabama. I know Huntsville's moved up to like 3rd, and I think Baldwin County is 4th, maybe. And I think Mobile County is still 2nd, or they might have Baldwin County.
Lee County, where Montgomery is, where Auburn is, has really, I think they're 4th or something like that now.
Yeah, I don't think. No, Lee County ain't got more than Montgomery. They haven't overtaken Montgomery. No, Lee County.
They're close. They're close.
They're close because everybody from Montgomery County is moving to Lee County, and I'm gonna tell you that. All right, I know that for a fact. I've known several families, and the thing is, the population of people that are moving from Montgomery County to Lee County are white, right? That is just the God honest truth. They're leaving Montgomery and going over to. They might go to they're going to Autauga County. They're going up to Elmore County. They're moving out of Montgomery County. The same thing that happened down in Mobile when those people started leaving Mobile County and they start going to Baldwin County, right?
Right across the bay.
Right across the bay. The same thing happened there is happening in Montgomery. And let's keep it real. We've had some conversations with some people who have said that this thing about the split between these public schools and private schools had a lot to do with race.
People have said that for sure.
And some of the, not only the people we talk to, some of the articles that are coming out have been based around the racial aspect of the split between public and private schools. And here in Montgomery, bro, I like I say, I don't have this number exactly, but bro, we got so many private schools. Like we got more private schools than a lot of other counties, cities, right? And here in Montgomery County, and all the white kids go to private school, right? And it's very low population in those private schools of black kids, right? They're littered in there, sprinkled in there. Not even littered, they're sprinkled in there. However, it's not a lot. Sprinkle me, baby.
So you know Montgomery Academy very well. And you said they have 180 something students, 9 through 12.
Right.
So out of that population, how many would you say would be African American athletes?
Less than 20.
I was about to say
15 to 20, maybe. That are athletes. Yeah. It's not, if you go through 9th through 12th grade, you look at the JV, the 9th grade team, the JV, and the varsity. It's probably 6 or 7. I know it's 5 on the varsity. They
So
probably
you're
got
saying 160 or 170 of those 100, almost 90, almost 200 students that they have would be white.
Yeah, but they got more black kids that don't participate in athletics, right?
Okay.
They got black kids that don't participate in athletics. Not many, right? And Trinity, St. James, ACA, and Catholic. Now, Catholic is the outlier. Catholic probably has the biggest African American population inside the school, right? Those other ones, I'm not sure. I'm not as in depth or as informed about them, but they don't have many either. Like I'm gonna tell you like this: throughout all of the private schools, it is probably less than 100 black kids in all of those private schools here in Montgomery.
So am I right in saying that the only private school that is all African American in the state of Alabama would be Oakwood Academy? Is that correct?
I'm pretty sure it's more out there, maybe.
Okay.
Like I can't answer that question because I don't have that. I hadn't done that research to see how many there are black based private schools. I know St. Jude used to be one here in Montgomery, but they closed that down several years ago.
Right.
So they no longer have that. But yeah, the one that I know of that is popular now. You can go to Birmingham. It's Birmingham Christian, I think, is a black private school. If I'm not mistaken, and I'm sure it's several out there in these little pockets of. We got 67 counties here in the state of Alabama.
But when I looked at that 1A and 2A, one thing that was curious to me was I didn't see any of those on there.
None. I think I saw Birmingham Christian. I got to go back and look. We can pull it up. We had it up. Yeah, we can pull it up. But I didn't. With all that being said, that's not the point we're making. The point we're making, we didn't see Oakwood, right? And if they were on there, I didn't see it. Somebody got to tell me. And I meant to reach out like today. I went to sleep, bro. Took a nap. But
and one thing we do have to remember is all those graphics and stuff that came out was all about football schools. So there may be a list, and I know Oakwood does not play football. Maybe some of those other ones do not. So that could be the case. So I want to make sure that we're clear about that.
Yeah, go. Okay, Breezy is bringing up the private school list right now because today I spoke with the head coach at Lamp, which is a magnet school here in Montgomery, and Lamp is probably one of the more prestigious high schools in the country, not the state, in the country. It is one of the most prestigious high schools in the country, right? And I spoke with him today, and I think they're going to be in 4A because they don't play football. None of these magnet schools play football. So that's probably why they weren't included on this list. So my thing is saying that we might have a different list when it comes to basketball. As we know, this list that was put out was centered all around football. Football. Right? It's like no, they don't play another sport in anything else in the state of Alabama outside of football.
Alabama's a hoop state.
Thank you, Breezy. But let the Alabama High School Athletic Association tell you, and Central Board of Governing, whatever they call it, the Central Board, let them tell it. They don't play nothing but football here in this state. That's the only thing that matters. But a lot of those, like you say, a lot of those private schools don't play football. They only have basketball programs, right? So I know Lamp doesn't play football. Brewtech doesn't play football. And Brewtech is going to be in 5A in public school, and Lamp is going to be in 4A in public school because those schools have populations like the private schools, right? They 200, 300 at the most, 9th through 12th grade, right? I didn't ask Coach McGahee how many students they have 9th through 12th grade, but I can find that out. But I'm pretty sure it's a low number because, like you say, they don't take zoning. You have to test to get into those schools.
And so a little segue. So one of the big news was all the reclassification. And so just a little clarity on that. If you have a student that takes any class at like a tech school, a career school, an innovation school, anything like that, that's either on another campus or at that tech school or at that career tech school, whatever it might be, they are counted as a full-time student there. And it does not go toward the enrollment roster, like say Albertville. So one of the reasons why Albertville went from 7A all the way down to 5A, which a lot of people are like, whoa, that's a huge drop. It's
Mhm.
because they split the school into Albertville Innovation School and Albertville High School. And so if you even took one class coming up, you were counted at the Innovation School. And so their numbers went shoo. And so we
Right.
saw that all over the state.
A lot of technicalities.
That's crazy, bro.
Because the money that the tech schools get is more than what you get as counted as a regular student.
So I wonder if we got somebody from Oakwood or from the Huntsville area who's familiar with Oakwood in the chat right now or watching the show online, whether on, and we're streaming right now everywhere, y'all. Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and on Instagram. So I wonder if we got somebody from Oakwood or from the Huntsville area who's familiar, who can tell us where Oakwood is playing, right? I'm sure they're going to be included in this private school sector when it comes to basketball, but since they don't play football, they probably weren't added to this list, right? And it blows my mind that they don't have the basketball programs, or they might play volleyball, they might play softball, baseball, whatever it is, they might have those programs, but they weren't added to this list because this list, as we come to find out, is all football. This is what this matters. I'm not even sure that they're going to have the same areas and regions as this list that we're saying when it comes to basketball. They probably won't change it.
All this is far from over. And, one thing when we're talking about a lot of this is there's so many moving parts. Like there is a big meeting happening tomorrow.
That's what we're trying to get to. Let's get to it, Lance.
Yeah, so the private schools are saying they want to cut away completely now from the Alabama.
Hold on, Lance, we cut you off. I'm sorry. Hold your thought. So in the chat right now, they just popped in. The head coach at Oakwood, Coach Swain, says they have 100 students total from 9th through 12th grade.
Wow.
100 students total, 9th through 12th grade. So, Coach Swain, we got the line open, man. If you want to call in and give us a rundown on Oakwood and where you guys will be playing and what region you guys will fall in, call in right now. The phone lines are open, 334-209-5222. We would love to talk to you and get some information on how you guys will be playing and where you're going to be playing. Go ahead, Lance. Finish what you were saying.
So going back to a little bit of history, there have been numerous organizations in the state of Alabama that have governed sports. Okay, even before segregation happened in the 60s, there was the Alabama, let's just call it, our sports association, right? And then there was the one for the African American schools, and then that combined. There's been one for private schools. There's been one. There's still some different agencies out there, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so, so with what's happening tomorrow, them saying that we're completely out, I think we're going to see even maybe a new agency pop itself up.
And that's what was told. I spoke with some private school head coaches, basketball, and at a private school they do a lot. They do both, right? They coach, and I spoke to a couple of them. And I remember on Friday when the announcement first came out, it came out around 10, 11 o'clock that morning. I spoke to some that day, a couple of hours later, and one told me that this thing was far from over. It was a lot of people that were upset about the split. Right. We didn't go into detail about what that was about. However, they did say that it was split. It was a lot of people that were upset about the split. Right. On which side that was on, can't really say. But what I'm saying is, I really do believe that with the split and with what Lance just alluded to, tomorrow there is a really, really big meeting going down tomorrow, the 27th. With private schools, and it's going to happen here in Montgomery, and it is led by Montgomery Catholics, headmaster, principal, whatever they call it, last name Mr. Constanza. He's going to be leading that tomorrow, and I am interested to see what are the happenings that's going to come out of that meeting, and what not only the happenings, but what's going to be said. What's the purpose for the meeting? Because we didn't get the purpose for the meeting. We just noticed having a meeting, right? About the disgruntledness of the private schools about the split, right? Because, like I say, Montgomery Academy has 183 students from 9th through 12th grade. They were like 8 students away from meeting the threshold from being private school class 1A to private school class 2A. And we mentioned this on Saturday. They just won the 3A state championship in basketball last year without the split, and is one of the top teams in class 3A this year without the split. They were 11-1 before they lost to Bayside Academy in football this year, right? And Bayside Academy went on to the championship game where they lost, right? These are private schools that are competing for state championships with the private schools and the public schools combined, right? So if you're putting a Montgomery Academy in class 1A private school, and they were just winning the class 3A championship in basketball in public school, private school merger, bro, I would be upset too if I'm in class 1A playing basketball and I got to see Montgomery Academy every year. I got an issue with that.
Yeah, because you ain't going to win.
Right. Like, I wasn't winning a championship in 3A. I ain't finna win a championship in 1A private school. Right. So it's a lot of bureaucracy and red tape that is going on right now with this split that makes it newsworthy for sure.
So one of the things that I was able to see in some of the minutes of some of these meetings that I was able to find is the overarching word that everybody was upset about was competitive advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And so they drew up how many times, regardless of what sport, private schools have won a championship. And I really hadn't thought about it. And the numbers are staggering how many times private schools have won championships over public schools. It's not even, and so they're saying that because of resources and all the things that are talked about on top of the Choose Act, that it gives the private schools such a huge advantage, which we know that it's open season now.
Right.
It's going to give them even a greater one. And so then, a couple of years back, they put in the multiplier to try to balance things out.
Mm-hmm.
They called it that. And I think that, you got your UMS Rights, your McGill Tulans, your Montgomery Academies, your Madison Academies. I mean, it goes on and on that they win all these different things. And so they're saying that it's just so much of a competitive advantage. And now with the Choose Act, that is even multiplied even further, that public schools just won't even have a chance. And so that to me, and some of the recent meetings that I've read, was some of the biggest arguments of why it's going down.
And I, all right, let's say this. I get it, right? But here's the issue that I have. A lot of those championships that are won by private schools are in sports outside of football.
Sure.
Right? So, like, why is this whole argument about football? Because of, like you say, they will bump a private school up a classification if they're wrecking shop in a lower classification. Like, we've mentioned this several times. Montgomery Catholic plays 6A football. They were that's a 3A program. Not sure how many students they have, but with the multiplier, they should be a 3A program. They play 3A basketball. They play 3A in other sports. But in football, they play 6A football. They went from 4A football 3 years ago, won a state championship. They bumped them up to 5A. They won the state championship. So this past year, they bumped them up to 6A, and they went to the championship game, right? So Montgomery Academy girls soccer, they play 7A soccer. Montgomery Academy girl volleyball, they play 6A volleyball, right? Because they've won shout out to Julie Sinclair. They've won so many championships in volleyball, right? And I'm sure it's like that for other private schools. I'm just familiar with the Montgomery ones, right? So I'm sure it's like that for other private schools. I remember at one time McGill Tulane was playing 7A. They were classified as a 7A program as a private school. And I know their population inside that school doesn't have a number. 7A is in the thousands if you're a 7A program. You got thousands of students. And I know McGill-Toolen doesn't have thousands of students. But once they added that 1.35 multiplier to every student in the school, it probably bumped them up a lot. However, it didn't bump them up enough to compete on the 7A level, but they were so good, they were busting so many heads that they had to move up. Same thing for UMS Wright, right? Same thing for them. So I would say that the argument is confusing on my end because you got some private schools saying, hey, the multiplier is unfair, right? And we got a call coming in. Okay, yeah, this is Oakwood's coach, man. Let's pause where we at. Let's bring him on real quick.
Mail, press 2.
Let me call him back. I was slow to it. My fault, Coach Swain. I'm calling you back right now.
I'm slow to my phone. I'm calling you back. Sir, yes, sir.
What's going on, Coach? How you doing?
Complain, man. Show.
All right, holla at us, Coach, man. Give us the rundown on Oakwood Academy, man, and what's the news you've been hearing about where you guys will be playing? What classification or region you guys will be playing basketball in the 26-27 season?
I haven't had any word of where we're playing for the 26-27, but volleyball team be the single A region with Heritage, Whitesburg, give me a second, I can tell who else there.
So they've given you where volleyball is playing. So volleyball will be playing in 1A division in the region with Whitesburg Christian, but they hadn't told you about basketball as of yet.
Nope, we'll know best to the state champion.
Okay, so after the state championships, we'll know about basketball. So, Coach, let me get your opinion, man. Since we got you on, kind of tell us what's your opinion on the private school, public school split, and where Oakwood falls within that.
We enjoyed playing the public school. We didn't want to split. Man, we still talk about it. We don't know which way to go. Don't understand how they did the regions, enrollment, just to double back. He was saying as far as like a Montgomery, they might have 100 students, but we are 100. You seem like the whole over football. I haven't heard anything football.
So you guys did not want the split, right? You're a school that you like I say, you guys y'all play 6A schools, y'all play everybody, right? Y'all when up there in that North Alabama area, y'all don't duck no smoke. Y'all will go play anybody. So you guys were part of the population that did not want to split.
Correct.
Interesting. Because like I say, I agree. Because it only brings, so you say you guys have 100 students from 9th through 12th grade. And we know at Oakwood, you guys have your 7-day Adventist school. So you have things that you can't do on at certain times, right? And that was a big deal several years ago when they left you guys out of the state championships in basketball due to them not, working with you guys about the stipulations that you guys have religiously. So kind of talk about that part of it with the religious stipulations that y'all have. How is this going to affect you guys going forward?
I don't think is moving forward. I think the state, they after that situation in a little clause where any school has religious beliefs or anything that they can't play 30 day or time that they would make a. So I think it was cleaned up. Good job now. Incident sure that times fit. It's sunset Friday, sunset Saturday. We don't participate in any work or anything.
Gotcha. So that's interesting. So if it was your opinion right now, I know you don't know yet. Where do you think they're going to put Oakwood uh when it comes to basketball? What classification and region do you think they're going to fit you guys in once you do find that out after the state championships?
We would be single and going off of the volleyball. I think they might be in there with Decatur, Whitesburg, Christian. I could see maybe Christian dropping Athens with maybe Christian Academy.
Okay. So Lance, you got a question for it?
Yeah, Coach. You know, you have a chance to win a championship this year, and so I'm going to leave that talk for a second. Tell us about you got a few games left in the regular season, and how you feel about your quest toward Birmingham as your you know, got a contender in your hands.
Well, I feel like we with some bangers, man. In Academy on night. Oh, we in with White Christians. We played them last lost by 6. So, man, those are two things to get us ready for the run. Like I tell my kids, we are toughest opponent. You don't get any do over. Now it's one.
So, Coach, how many years in a row have you guys made it to Birmingham since that incident several years ago?
God willing, it'll be 3.
Woo! Listen, I'm rolling with Oakwood, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, I'm rolling with Oakwood to
Oakwood
get back,
for
man.
sure.
Oakwood for sure, man. But Coach Swain, man, thank you so much for
Right.
for tapping in with us, man, and giving us that information and letting our listeners know what's going on. And we're gonna be watching, man, and good luck on the rest of the season.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you for all that y'all do.
No doubt about it, man. Coach Swain, man, the head coach of Oakwood boys basketball team, man. We appreciate him jumping on. Hey, we had a little bit of connection issue. I don't know how that came across to everybody else. But yeah, he just said that they have not been informed as of yet what region or what classification, but to his estimation, they should be in the same region with Decatur Heritage, Whitesburg Christian in that private school single A basketball.
And I think that's where everybody is right now, is just a little frustrated with the communication as well. You know, they're going off. Well, this person said this and that person said that, and so I think a little bit of the frustration that everybody's having, coaches, players, parents, administrators, everything is like, you know, we know we're a football state, but kind of give us some information here. We'd like to know.
Right. And like I say, that would be, Breezy put it back up on the screen for us. That would be private school class A region 4 that Oakwood would fit into. And like, it just ticks me off, Lance. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like this really pisses me off that they didn't even include basketball in this. Right.
Right.
And we are currently in basketball season. Right. So, like, basketball is at the forefront of everybody's mind right now here in the state of Alabama. However, this whole thing was built around and talked about for football. It's like, that's why I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give y'all a little insight. All right, I'm gonna go deep on y'all. I get a call last week from a parent at a prestigious high school, 7A high school here in the state, and I put out a story post last week about when this happened, about football. All they care about is football. When this information came out last Friday, I had that parent hit me and was like, this is the reason why all basketball players leave, right? For this, because when major decisions are talked about and handed down, basketball is not included. It's like we don't exist. So his messages was a little cryptic to me. So I was like, and this is a really good top level player here in the state of Alabama, right? Has in the class of 27. I'm like, man, this sounds like y'all on y'all way out, right? And I'm like, what's the word, y'all about to dip? And he says, stay tuned. Stay tuned, right?
Know what that means?
You know what that means, right? So my point is, like, we got parents out here that are, after this decision, they're considering just leaving because they see y'all don't care. Y'all don't care about our sport. So if I'm trying to get my child the best opportunity to get to the next level, and if that opportunity is leaving, well, I'm gone.
I'm gone.
I'm leaving, right? And he's threw out several examples of kids that have left the state that we talk about on this show. Jay Green, right? Let's just talk about Jay Green. Shout out Jay Green at Springdale Prep up there in Maryland. Bro, he just picked up an Oklahoma State offer last week.
Right.
Oklahoma State. When he was here in the state of Alabama, he couldn't even get Alabama State on his line, right? And that's the issue because they don't publicize or push basketball the way they should, right? And that's an issue for me, bro. That pisses me off. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
So I had the privilege today to be on a phone call with a lot of politicians that asked me the question, what really is the issue? Because they're now kind of got a little ear to sports, and they got other things they're worried about, right? So they're not super tuned in. And I said, you are, regardless of your industry, and us being on this show are very basketball centric, but it doesn't matter what your industry is. You're a product of your environment. We talk about that all the time. And I said, imagine if the top people in your industry are always leaving. How good is that product going to get? Because we talk about this all the time. I went to Butler High School. The greatest thing we had was access to competition. You went to Jeff Davis, like when Brian was there. There were people on the bench signing Division I because they had access to competition. Why was Alabama football so good for so long? Access to competition. So when the top players don't have access to things like NIL and other resources that other states do, and they leave, that brings it down here. So instead of the cream of the crop staying here, like imagine this would be Caleb. I mean, we can go through all these names again, right?
Right.
But like imagine how good all those players, how good Lee Garcia would be if he had to go up against Caleb Holt every day.
Right.
And so I was trying to get them to understand this is not just about a transfer rule. It's not just about a private public school. It's about creating an environment so these kids can be their absolute best. And when the best is always leaving, it just keeps on lowering the value of the talent pool.
Yeah, it diminishes the talent pool greatly, right? When like if Jay Green was still at Ramsey, how much better would DJ Giles be?
Yeah.
Going against Jay Green every day, right? So real quick, I got a question in the chat said from Alabama_hoops12. It says, and it's off subject, but he says, do you think Jeremy Chapman is better than Jalen Alexander? No, I can answer that. No. I like Jeremy Chapman a lot. Jeremy Chapman is a really good basketball player, but do I think he's better than Jalen Alexander? No, I don't. That's just my opinion. But I'll just answer that because it was in the chat. And we rock with Alabama_hoops12. They stay in the chat, and we appreciate them tuning in. So I had to get his question answered. But let's say this. Back on topic, I would say this, man. That where we are now, and back to the public school, private school thing, where we are right now, the private school sector has an opportunity to take us into the next level. They have the opportunity to take us into the next round of evolution because we're going there, right? And my thing is, we talk about this all the time. I equate this to the NCAA because what we say all the time, we've been saying this on this back when we were only podcasting, right? We used to say this all the time. It's a trickle-down effect, right? Everything that starts at the top trickles down and eventually sets itself all the way down to grassroots basketball, right? And the transfer portal, NIL, all of those things are trickling their way down into the high school game. If you go to other states, they got a rendition of the transfer portal. They have NIL. They have all, and shot clock. Come on, Breezy. Shot clock. They have all of these things that trickle down from the highest level. And the problem And the reason it's the wild, wild west in NCAA, in basketball, football, and all of the sports is because the NCAA for so long fought against evolution, right? They didn't want to change with the times. And because they didn't want to change with the times and evolution, I'm here to tell y'all, every night you go to sleep and every day you wake up, you evolve. Evolution is inevitable. It's going to happen, right? You can't block it from happening. Unless you perish. Let's just keep it real. That's the only way you won't evolve is if you perish and you don't make it to the next day. But the thing is, the NCAA fought so hard and so long against the transfer rules. They fought so hard and so long against NIL. And now it's the wild, wild west. And I say this analogy, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, right?
No.
It doesn't happen. And if the Alabama High School Athletic Association continues to fight against and try to do this competitive balance, competitive fairness, this amateurism thing, if they continue to fight and try to use those buzzwords to say this is the reason we're not evolving, it's going to have the same effect that the NCAA is having right now, where they can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, and it's going to be the wild, wild west. Private schools have the ability right now with this split, and if that tomorrow, the meeting that they're having, they're looking to do a complete split from the Alabama High School Athletic Association. They won't be, so all of these regions that we just saw with all these private schools, you can do away with those. You can throw those in the trash because they are going to split completely away from the Alabama High School, and it might be the AISA. And Lance, you said it's another one. It's several out there, but it's the AISA. It's the AS. Some a bunch of acronyms, right? They're out there, and they also said in the article that we read that it is possible that they will create their own association and then invite all of those other associations like the AISA to come join that association to make it one big association. So tomorrow, it could be news that comes out of that meeting that private schools have completely split from the Alabama High School Athletic Association, and everything that we saw on Friday becomes null and void.
Yeah, I mean, this has already been done. Lawyers have been involved.
Yep.
There's been plans behind closed doors. There's been late night conversations. This is not a surprise to certain people. And you know, to talk about something we just talked about, I think Fire in My Eyes or somebody made a comment the other week when we were talking a little bit about this. Like, you know, he's like, imagine Katie Ragland and Evan Toms and Courtney Hudson, you know, coming down on the break. All that only makes the sport better in the state of Alabama.
Facts.
Big facts.
I agree. Like, here's the thing, bro. All right. I'm not against recruiting. I'm not against a family, a parent, a child, a guardian, or whatever it may be, making decisions solely based on athletics. I'm not against that when it comes to the high school level. I'm actually for it. I'm for them making decisions based, because here's the thing. They make their decisions based off their academics. Oh, I want to be an engineer. I want to go to LAMP. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
They don't get penalized for that.
They don't get penalized for that. I'm good at forensics, right? I'm a great debater, right? I want to go and up my debate ability. I'm gonna go to Montgomery Academy. They don't have to, hey, you can't do forensics for a year because you transferred, right? They don't do that.
You can't be on the debate team because you transferred out.
Come on, they don't say you can't be on a debate team. They don't say, you're in theater and you want to go to a school that has a great theater program. High schools now, they don't make you say, oh, you can't be in a play for a year because you transferred.
So let me tell you a funny story. Several years ago, this was before the pandemic, a girl from Mountain Gap Middle School here in Huntsville won the spelling bee. Do you know how many people transferred their kid to Mountain Gap Middle School because she won the national spelling bee? They had to shut it down.
Come on, man. Did any of them have to say, oh, you can't compete in the spelling bee for a year?
No,
they did not say that. So my point is, why is it that when it comes to athletics, it's like, oh, it's taboo to say, oh, I'm making a decision for my child and my family based off athletics, right? That's the part that I don't get and understand of why are y'all trying to block athletes from doing what they do. It's the same way they did when it came to the college game, right? Oh, if you transfer, you got to sit out a year. Oh, if I went from this school to this school because I want to be an engineer, they didn't tell me I had to sit out a year to do anything. It only came to athletics, and then once people start making that argument, people wised up and then the courts, the federal government wised up and was like, you know what? That's right. If they don't have to sit out, we're not going to punish athletes. And I'm going to keep it real. We talked about this in the beginning of the show. We know why that happened, because majority of these athletes on that level were black. And they did not like the fact that black people were able to move between and make their own decisions on what was best for them and their families. That was what the issue was, right? And now we're seeing all these articles come out about that here in the state of Alabama in high school. That's a big issue. And if people want to, hey, let's not talk about that. That might hurt. I don't give a damn about your feelings. I'm just going to keep it real. A lot of this now that we're coming to grips with and understanding is, bro, a lot of these white private schools about to go get a lot of these black athletes from these public schools, and they're going to be wrecking shop. They're going to be wrecking shop. And it's twofold. Let's keep it real, Lance. It's twofold when it comes to that. One of them is, man, they finna go get all these black athletes because they got the resources to go get them, and they're going to be winning all the state championships. And then it's white people at those schools saying, oh, if y'all keep bringing in all these black kids, little Johnny and little Bobby ain't going to be able to play. I don't like that. I don't want all of them in here, right?
I pay full for my tuition.
I'm paying to play, right? They're coming over here for free, getting $7,000, and now y'all can start giving them NIL. They're going to take little Johnnies. I ain't going to be able to sit in the Hercules in the stands on Friday Night Lights. That's an issue. So it's a twofold thing with these private schools.
Hey,
where you argue with that.
Homeschool and the YMCA got teams all day.
They do. It's all. And listen, you get $2,000 from the Choose Act for homeschool.
Hey, start your own team.
Listen, but they want to. If you do that though, Lance, you can't tell the story when you get older. Ah, man, when I was in high school, I played against Caleb Hope.
Hey,
you know what I mean? When I was in high school, I got to play against Brian Williams. Right? How many stories do you hear that? Oh my God, I got dunked on by Zion Williamson when I was in high school. Right? I got to play with or against all these top level NBA players now today, NFL players now today. You hear those stories all the time, right? But my thing is, at what point are we going to be honest about what's really going on and stop trying to back channel this thing? Because the more you back channel it, the more it's going to come out, and the more you're not going to be able to regulate it once it happens. Because if I was a private school right now, just going to keep it honest. If I was a private school, I'm going to get everything. I'm going to get it. Just like we go recruit players, go recruit kids to come over because of their high academics. I'm going to get these high-level athletes to bring to my school.
I'm building dorms.
Come on.
So right before this happened, I will not name names, but right before this happened, was in lots of conversations about a piece of property in Huntsville, architect that drew dorms, basketball facility, all of the things. This just cracked that possibility open even more.
So, Lance, what you're saying is, it is a possibility, and I'm gonna tell you where this is heading if they don't do something about it. Now, they love using that word fair. That is fair for all, right? If you don't do something, come up with regulation, put some real people in the room that have some understanding about what's going on. The ding, 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 us in here. If you don't put real people in the room, and how Lance said, if you keep that old boy network, right? If you keep that old boy network making all the decisions, you're going to fail. And they're failing right now because they got the old boy network making these decisions from people who, you guys were in high school in the 50s and 60s and 70s. The world don't work like the world that y'all lived in when you were in high school, what you're trying to hold on to, the world ain't like that anymore. I'm sorry. It is not like that anymore. So if you don't come into the modern day times, you're going to struggle. And if I'm going to tell you what I foresee, Lance, I'm going to give y'all my opinion. And I put my opinion in the piece that I wrote on this weekend. But I'm going to tell you this, what I foresee. I foresee the prep school model is about to be very, very prevalent in the state of Alabama.
Yeah.
You can get ready for the prep school model. The dorms, the not a lot of school, right? Like they go to school 2-3 hours a day, and the rest of it is what they do, right? The academy, the overseas model, where guys start 14, 13 years old, where they're going to start being at these academies is what they're going to call them. And we've talked about this on this platform before, right? And it's going to be an academy that's geared towards whatever sport they play. You better watch out, because now that the floodgates are opening, I'm gonna be honest, the dam hadn't broke completely yet, but it's a big crack in it.
So there are some sports where the academy models are already active in the United States, and that model is about to take over in a big way. I mean, there are just a few more dominoes that have to fall. But I tell you one thing: when I was on the conversation today, I said, there are working models in states that border us. I said, let's take some adult field trips. Let's go visit Georgia. Let's go visit Florida. Let's go visit Tennessee, and let's take some adult field trips, like if we were in 6th grade, and let's go visit some places and have some conversations with people that are doing this successfully. It's not perfect,
Right.
but at least it's working. And so iBall's offering field trips if anybody wants to.
Hey,
wants
you
to
know what I'm
hop on.
saying? Listen, we'll give you a permission slip, man. Get your parents to sign it, and we'll tell you how much it costs, man. And you can go. We'll take you. We'll take it. Because Lance, you got your daughter, Aiden. She's a top level soccer player. All right. Kind of tell the people and equate the people, let them know how she's been moving, right? Because she goes to Huntsville High. However, she didn't play at Huntsville, right?
That's right.
So kind of tell us, how is it working for you about in the soccer world?
Yeah, so in the soccer world, there are soccer academies all over that that they go to school for about 2 hours. My daughter's not one of those, but I'm just giving you an example. They go to school for about 2 hours in the morning. They're littered all over the East Coast. Most of them are in Florida. There's some on the West Coast and in Texas. Kansas City has a big one where these kids, it is a full-time soccer academy. You live there in the dormitories. You live. I mean, you do your classes, and then it's soccer about 8 hours a day. So those European models of other sports, I mean, this is happening in golf. It's happening in swimming. It's been happening in a lot of sports for a long time, but now this European model of basketball is coming to America.
Right. And here's the thing about it. That doesn't happen in the sport of football, right? And that's the problem. And
That's the problem.
if you look at the NCAA, right, football has an issue with the transfer portal and NIL, but they don't have the same issues as basketball. We got pros, guys coming that have been drafted into the NBA that are leaving the NBA and coming back to college. We just had the situation with Charles Bediako, who just played this past Saturday against Tennessee for Alabama, who was drafted in the NBA to a team, has been playing at the G League affiliate team, and now has went back to Alabama and is eligible to play. It is several instances like that across college basketball, right?
But in my opinion, this is not breaking news, because like when I was a coach at South Alabama, we had a 24-year-old guy who was a pro-Yugoslavian, Virgil Stanescu. He was 24 years old. He had played in the Yugoslavian Pro League and came over and played for us at South Alabama. And there's been those types of things forever. So us now doing it with Americanized players that and Bediako's Canadian actually.
Right.
But this has been going on a long time.
Right. And now they're just trying to make it, because now the NBA is involved, right? Because
Correct.
they have the G League, right? They have the G League where guys, but it's been reports that kids like Mark Sears is trying to come back to Alabama, right? Who played he played 30 years in college, right?
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that if you don't do something about it, you allow things to happen that you can't control, right?
Right.
If you don't put the correct parameters in place, you can't control it. And that's the thing about the Alabama High School Athletic Association. They're not putting the correct parameters in place to evolve with the times that are about to happen, and they're trying to fight against it to be, I don't know what the, I don't know. It's the
Well,
pissing contest. I don't know.
there is a healthy solution, and I think that the conversations have to be had instead of them thinking so dogmatic. Either it has to be this way or that way. I think you can get in a room and have conversations that is healthy for all uh, all of high school sports. I just think you got to be willing to want to do it.
And here's the other thing, bro, you have to compromise.
Yes.
Like that in any sector of life, especially business, you're not going to be successful if you don't compromise.
That's it.
I know what you want, but somebody over here wants this. You got to find a middle ground. And that's the way you become successful. Hey, I'm going to give you a little some of you want. I'm going to give you some of what you want. Let's come up with what you want and what you want. How can we bring those two things together to make it good? Right?
Well,
That's the issue.
and the thing I'm scared of, maybe that's not the right word, but fearful of, is that by the state high school association being so dogmatic about certain things, they're making themselves irrelevant. And if they don't change a little bit of their mindsets, that they'll be one of those things we just read about in history books. And so I think if you're able to, like you said, compromise, reason, have certain conversations, and adapt,
Yep.
like we are still dealing with some rules that I've seen in the last couple weeks. Man, those things have been around for generate. Our grandparents were playing with those
Oh
rules.
man, that's what I'm
Like
saying,
it's
bro.
like it's time to evolve to 2026 and help these kids. And like you said, all these lessons, there's only 1% that may even play pro out of the state of Alabama in some of these sports.
Right.
So let's not even have that on. But the lessons and the morals and the values that these kids learn in playing sports are invaluable. And so if we can show them and lead them, it's our responsibility as leaders and as adults who have the decision making responsibility. They can see this model going forward of, oh, that was a tough time for the state of Alabama in sports, but this is how they solved it. I think that will send ripples around the United States. But if we go in there and we want to do what Alabama does, it'll send ripples in a different way, and it won't be good. It'll be ugly, and I don't want that for our state.
Facts. And here's the thing, man. Everybody always, that's the argument that they always say when families at this level want to make decisions for athletics. They always want to pull out those statistics of, oh, only 1% of people go pro, only this, that, and the other. Even the NCAA used to have that dumb commercial. And all of our students are gonna go pro in something other than, right?
Right.
Like you see, they don't run those stupid commercials anymore, right? Like, but that is always their argument, and that's part of the argument that people around here are using. But here's the thing, bro, you can fall in love with the sport of basketball like we did. Do you know how many jobs there are in basketball? Do you
That's
know how
right.
many? Let's talk about the NBA alone. I'm not even going to go to college, right? Let's talk about NBA alone. Each one of those NBA franchises has about 1,500 jobs that they employ inside that front office, in the building, all type of stuff, right? It is so many jobs in sports that people can do. You can go professional. You can go to the NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL. Volleyball has a pro league now. Softball has a pro league now.
Pickleball has a pro league now.
Come on, you can go pro in all of these sports and never lace up your shoes and be a pro, right? So let's stop this lie of telling kids that, oh, don't put all your eggs into the athletic basket because you're not going pro. That's a lie. You know how many you need managers, you need doctors, you need massage therapists, you need people to sit on the mic and talk like us. Stephen A. Smith make $10 million a year just sitting on the microphone arguing with people, right? So there are jobs in every industry in the world because sports touches every industry in the world that you can go get. So let's stop telling our kids, hey man, don't fall in love with basketball because you won't make it. That's a lie. Don't tell them don't fall in love with football because you won't make it. That's a lie. Because you can make it, just may not be playing, but you can make it. You might be a great coach. You might be a physical therapist. You might be a team doctor. There's no telling what you can do. You might be going to work in the front office. You might be a general manager. You might be an agent. Like, it's so many. Go be a lawyer and go be an agent. Agents making 3%, 4% of these $200-300 million contracts out there. They're
You
rich.
can represent high school kids these days.
Right. And we got, hey, listen, don't watch out. iBall is moving through some stuff, but that's another story for a whole nother day. Right. I'm just telling you right now. But my thing is, it is so many jobs in sports that you can do if you fall in love in basketball. Because that's what we talk about. If basketball is what you want to do, let's tell these kids, fall in love with the game now. Learn the game now. Learn the business. And Chill Will loves saying that. Chill Will's in the chat right now. He loves saying this, the business of basketball. This is a business, right? This is just not a sport. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry across all levels that you can be involved in without playing the sport. So
a lot of people in North Alabama know the name Greg Stolt that played at Grissom. So, he went to Florida, played basketball, and then he became head over NBA operations in China, which is a huge, huge deal. And then you have Mario West, who played for Georgia Tech and the Atlanta Hawks. And now what he does is he helps, the NBA has people who help you transition from playing the game into life. And Mario does that. So there's, like you said, there's many, many, many ways to not just bounce a ball, but be involved and make an impact in the sport.
Right, bro. So I just think, man, that and your guy, John Wallace, right, who's now the GM at the Denver Nuggets, right? I think his kid, where does his kid play at, man? You referenced it when we were at the Huntsville City Classic. The Wallace kid, is he at Sparkman? He was like, his family owns the big cattle farm.
No, that's a different guy.
That's a
but
different Wallace.
I'll have to think about it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I put you on the spot. I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, he's the GM at the Denver Nuggets now.
My nap wasn't long enough today.
Exactly. But so my thing is, bro, like, let's stop telling kids that athletics is not a pathway to a great life, right? People always try to lie to these kids and tell them, oh, athlete, don't concentrate on your academics and not your athletics because you need something to fall back on one day, right? It is this great quote from a pro athlete that said one time that if I fall back or fall off, I'm gonna fall back on a pile of money. Right. But so my thing is, it is an industry, a multi-billion-dollar industry across all levels of athletics through all sports that a kid can fall in love with in the 4th grade and say, hey, I want to play basketball. Okay, your athleticism doesn't match up to what you need to do to make it. However, you fell in love with the game, you love the game, and there's so many other jobs that you can do to be successful in life. So let's stop lying to these kids. Let's stop right now saying that, listen, these decisions that are being made right now with the Athletic Association in the state of Alabama, let's stop telling it that it doesn't need to be athletic based. Yes, it does, because you can make a life in athletics right now, starting in the high school level. So
And
That's
and
Hollow
whether
Street.
you agree or disagree with her politics, our current governor, like I love her attitude. Like let them play,
Let them
just let
play.
let them play. Like, and so kudos to Governor Ivy for that and her vision for what sports in this state should be. And I think she's going to get her way.
Gotcha. She is. Who gonna tell her no? Right? You know what I'm saying? Who's gonna tell her no? She's the governor, right? Who gonna tell Will the thing and let better know? He's the House Speaker. He the one to stand up there and talk, right? So who's gonna tell them no? They got all the judges in the courts backing them, so nobody's gonna tell them no, right? So that's interesting to say, man. But with that being said, man, our guy Coach Threadgill said Wallace played at Sparkman, but he said he doesn't think he has a family member playing. However, he did play at Sparkman, and he's now the general manager at the Denver Nuggets. So it's jobs, and he's a black man, right? Just for those who may not know. So it's there. It's out there, bro. It's out there. It's available. It's out there. So let's stop lying to these kids, telling them that athletics is not a great avenue to pursue at a young age. What else we got, man? That's about all I got for tonight.
Hey, shout out to Threadgill. Go get you a chip, man.
Hey,
Y'all
man.
playing well.
Hey, man, Threadgill, man.
I know I'm some bulletin board material, but I'm just giving you some encouragement.
Yeah, Threadgill, Lance picked Albertville, Lance.
I picked Albertville too.
Yeah, Breezy. Hey, listen, Breezy and Lance picked Albertville, Threadgill. I picked Sparkman. So don't let me down, bro. I'm the lone wolf.
It ain't no love lost though.
Ain't no love lost. No, they know it ain't no love lost. But I'm the lone wolf, Threadgill, man. If you make me look bad, I'm snapping. Yeah, I'm gonna be mad if you make me look bad because I picked Huntsville and Sparkman to make it to the regional. But that 2-3 matchup between Albertville and Sparkman is gonna be really good once area play starts.
Get your popcorn ready.
I might have to make a little trip up to North Alabama to catch that game the day it happens. I might have to do that, no doubt about it. But with that being said, man, Lance, appreciate you, my guy. Great information tonight, man. And of course, we're gonna be on top of everything of the happenings tomorrow with seeing if we are gonna get a complete split for some of these private schools from the Alabama High School Athletic Association. We're gonna continue to follow the money, and we ain't afraid to play the race card on here. So we're gonna keep all information because that's what we do. We are all things high school and college basketball right here in the state of Alabama. So if you want the information, make sure you lock in with iBall Radio and iBallRadio.com. We appreciate it, Lance, man. We'll holler soon, bro. There he is, man. I got Lance from Huntsville tapping in, man, hooking us up, man. But Breezy, great show, man. A lot of information that was had tonight. But it's always time. It always comes a time that it has to come to an end. With that being said, we've reached that moment. So Breezy, run the music. Let's get up out here for the night.
Run me my theme song.
What more can I say? Well, there you have it, man. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us tonight right here on the iBall Radio live call-in show. Shout out to Lance from Huntsville for stepping in, man, giving us all that information, man. He's a great addition to the iBall Radio staff. Shout out to Coach Swain over at Oakwood Academy, calling in, man, giving us the rundown on Oakwood and how they're going to be placed next season with this public school, private school split. So shout out to them. Shout out to everybody in the chat that tapped in. Ask questions, man. Stay locked in, man. We appreciate you guys more than you know. And we're gonna be on top of this thing. We might have an impromptu live tomorrow night. We might just pop up with lives. You never know when we're gonna go live. So make sure it's that season.
Yeah, it's pop-up season.
It's pop-up season.
It's too much news out here.
It's too much news. And we ain't even talk no real basketball tonight, right? And it's so much basketball to talk. Actually, the areas are starting to shape out who's going to be where, who's going to be hosting. There's a lot of that going on, man. So we'll talk about that more coming up also. So make sure you stay locked in right here on iBallRadio.com. iBall Radio Live Call-In Show. And go get your iBallRadio.com subscription. Make sure you go follow us across all social media at iBall Radio, little IBALL Radio. Go subscribe to the YouTube page. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so that you get a notification every single time we go live on YouTube. Appreciate y'all, man. With that being said, Breezy, holla at these folks, man.
Hey, man, it's your boy Breezy, and it ain't easy.
You already know, man. They call me They call me coach because I messed up. I did the chill wheel. And y'all already know they call me coach because I teach you how to ball.
For sure.
Until one of these nights, we'll holler at y'all. We out. Peace. Long live Hero.
For sure.